So for our next segment here, we're going to go through our predictions for the awards for the 2020 NFL season. So we're going to look at who we believe will be the MVP, the offensive and defensive player of the year, the offensive and defensive rookie of the year, and who we believe will end up the Super Bowl champs. So with that said, Mike, who do you believe is going to win the MVP this year?
I think the MVP is going to be Josh Allen. I kind of have tossed up back and forth on that. I think Justin Herbert's going to have a really good year and be close. I think Rodgers will have another good year, but I mean, you can't win it 3 years in a row. So I've ruled him out based on that. So I think it's the Bills' window is now, and if they're going to go as well as I think they will this year, Josh Allen's going to be a big part of that, so I've gone for him.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up Justin Herbert, because that's who I have picked for the MVP award. So I think he's going to have... it's funny to have a breakout year for him, because he's had a really good start to his NFL career, but like he said with the Bills, I think the Chargers, their window is now, and I think he's sort of ready to ball out this season. So I think he might end up somewhere, you would hope best case scenario would be Patrick Mahomes, first season as a starter, where he was throwing, 50 touchdown passes in that year and stuff like that. I don't know if he'll hit 50, but I think he'll be over 40 and probably close to 5,000 passing yards for the season. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Justin Herbert.
Sounds good.
So for you, who do you have winning Offensive Player of the Year?
So with this one, this was a bit of kind of back and forth, and I've gone back and forth on Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor. And to be honest, up until about an hour before I recorded this, I had Justin Jefferson, but I've gone with Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to have another big year. He's my running back in a few of my fantasy leagues, so I need him to have a big year. And I really, even though I try to put bias aside, I really struggle to have a Viking as as my pick there. So Justin Jefferson, a close second.
Yeah, it's funny that you said Justin Jefferson, because he was one that I also waffled on, where I think that he can and will probably have a very good season this year. And I also thought Jonathan Taylor, like you. But I'm going to go out and say that Cooper Kupp wins it for 2 years in a row. I think he and Matt Stafford have really great chemistry together. And, he'll probably have, repeat stats again this year, hopefully close to, somewhere between 1,700 and 2,000 yards receiving. So I'm going to say right now it's a Cooper Kupp's award to lose. So that's who I have winning that this year again. So for your defensive player of the year, who do you have?
Aaron Donald, pretty much. I think he will get it. I think it will be one of those ones where it could be quite a few. I think Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, TJ Watt. I think they'll all be there and there's about, but Donald's just a freak, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in the family here with TJ Watt. So I think he's just in the prime of his career right now. I mean, he's finished in the top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 years in a row. I mean, same with Aaron Donald. I mean, he's won it a bunch of times. But I just think that what TJ Watt is accomplishing and continues to get better. Like I said, I think he'll probably finish again with close to 20 sacks. For him to basically just be done with his rookie contract and almost have close to 100 sacks is pretty crazy. So I think right now, because he's always in the backfield. He always is either right there with the lead or in second for tackles for loss with Aaron Donald. He has a bunch of forced fumbles. So I just think, not that Aaron Donald, he is older, but not to say that he isn't a freak, because if you see him, he's massive. But I think that TJ keeps that and wins it again this year and joins his brother as a one of the only multi-time winners. Same with Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I like that.
All right, so who do you have for your offensive rookie of the year?
Chris Olave. I think it's. I mean, I was going to say I think it's not even close. Like that's not true. I think there's a lot. Another one of these years where like there's a lot of good rookies who can contribute straight away. The guys like Drake London, Breeze Hall, kind of can contribute and will be required to contribute. But I just think Chris Olave, I mean, I was, as I lamented on our draft stream we did, I so wanted the Packers to get Chris Olave. Obviously they didn't, but I just think he's a great receiver. I think he matches up really well there with Winston and his deep ball. And I think he ends up, just having a great season. It's one of those things on that offense. I mean, you've got to cover. Assuming Michael Thomas is, back and healthy and liking the team again, and Kamara there, defenses have to worry about them, so that's going to create a lot of opportunity for Olave.
Yeah, he was one, and I don't, and maybe Drake London, but that's if Marcus Mariota, can actually do well this year. I don't want to sound like a homer, but like I said in our earlier videos, I think George Pickens can be the steal of the draft where, he fell because of some injuries. But he's made some amazing catches in the preseason, and they just announced that Mitch Trubisky is the starting quarterback starting the season, and I think he's going to be his number one target. So, like I said, not to sound like a homer, I didn't just immediately pick George Pickens. I went through and tried to look, who do I think will have the better year, but I'm gonna say that George Pickens, I don't think he'll have a Jamar Chase-like year, like Jamar Chase did last year with Joe Burrow, but I think he'll probably break out and probably show that teams should have picked him a little bit higher than the Steelers got him in the second round.
No, that's fair.
All right, and then for your defensive rookie of the year,
I've gone with Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end from the Lions. I'll admit, probably a lot of the other kind of defensive rookies and that I don't know a great deal about, but I just think Hutchinson, the position where he is there, I think that defense for the Lions actually looks pretty good, so I think he can stand out there. Like if I was going to have a homer pick, I'd say Quay Walker. And I think he will have a really good year, but not enough to actually win the award.
Yeah, so we actually agree on this one. I also went out with Aiden Hutchinson. I was between him and Sauce Gardner for the Jets. I like I said before, I like some of the moves that the Jets have sort of started to take to hopefully get through their rebuild quicker. And Sauce Gardner, I mean, he was just a beast in college. So they're kind of hoping that he would be the next Darrelle Revis for them. So I went back and forth, but kind of like everything you said, I think it's the Lions are having a sort of sneaky good defense. And I think he's going to be the anchor where he's going to be the guy on that line that's just going to anchor that for hopefully a decade for the Lions, but also just tear stuff up. So I also have him as the defensive rookie of the year.
They're going to be biting off kneecaps. Still so funny.
And so our final thing is who do you believe will win the Super Bowl this year?
As much as I would love to say the Packers, and I mean I don't think that is unreasonable.
No, it's not.
I'm going to say the Packers, but if I was having an unbiased pick, I would say Buffalo.
Well, I'm gonna put Packers in for you because I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. I think. I mean, I guess this is why we're friends, because we think a lot alike about stuff. But I really want. See, I want them to win. I really like when there's these like sort of great players and teams that come around. I want them to win, a championship. So,
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, he does have his Super Bowl already. Patrick Mahomes has it. Matt Stafford just won it and stuff like that. So, if there's somebody out there right now, I do wish that Josh Allen and Buffalo can get over that hump, get rid of the "boy, I love losing" Super Bowl nickname for the Bills. So
I agree with that. I'm not one of these people who goes, "Oh, my second team" and that, because I don't subscribe to that. Like in any sport, you've got your team and your team alone. But for that kind of thing, in terms of if it's not my team that's going to win, I'd like to see this team. It's the Bills, because it's one of the few teams I look for. Like, there is no player on there that I dislike either rationally or rationally. They're quite. For a good team, they're a very likable team too.
Right, exactly. And I mean, they obviously, them and the Chiefs had one of the greatest playoff games ever last year, and I think if they meet in the playoffs again for the third straight year, I think Buffalo will be ready for that game. And I'm rooting for them to get there. Like I said, I don't really have a second team, but once your team's out and you can kind of look to say, okay, who do I want to win? You obviously don't hope you obviously hope that your rival team isn't there, because if they're there, then you automatically will go for the other team. But when you break it down, it's like, okay, well, I really want this city deserves it or needs it, and I really want these players to sort of cement their legacy by getting a Lombardi trophy. So I'm gonna go. It could be Bills versus Packers. That could be the Super Bowl.
It could be, and outside of that scenario, the other real bonus for me would be if Stephon Diggs, after leaving the Vikings, goes and wins a Super Bowl, and the Vikings still don't win one. That would just be
right,
glorious.
Like, now that he's off the Vikings, it's like, okay, we don't win one.
I would love it.
Yeah. All right. So So we have Josh Allen as MVP. For Mike, I have Justin Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, and Cooper Kupp for Offensive Player of the Year. Aaron Donald, T.J. Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Chris Olave and George Pickens. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we both settle on Aiden Hutchinson. And our Super Bowl champs are the Packers and the Bills. So I thank everybody who stayed around and listened. Please leave your answers to any of those questions in the comments. I would love to see what people have to say. Any of the over-unders, or who do you think will win any of the individual team awards, and who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. We will be having another video come out here before the start of the season. Like I said, we'll be doing weekly videos. So I hope to see everybody around. And I thank you, Mike, for joining me today. This was a fun video.
Thank you. Fun as always.
And I hope everybody has a nice day.